Today, I'm going to show you 5 tips that every new Blender user should know. Let's start right now with tip number 1. Customize your startup file. I did not know that when I started Blender, but you can actually customize your default startup file, so you never forget an option again, and you will not have to do the same action over and over every time you start a new project. By default, you will have all your favorite functions activated or objects you need in your scene. So let me show you what I did for my startup file. As you can see, when I create a new file, I already have this empty, and this is my focus point for my camera. I'll always create one for my projects, so hey, why not include it in my default file? So it's pretty easy to do. Shift A, empty, plain axis, you move it around, and you name it focus, for example. And in your camera settings, so you click here in camera settings, you tick depth of field, and for the focus object, you select this focus point you have just created. And because we are already in the camera section, let's see what I have changed here. So as I said, the depth of field is always ticked. I set the pass part out at 1, clip ends at 1000 meters, so you're sure to see everything in your scene through your camera. F-stop at 1 for a blurry background. Blades at 5 for the bokeh, and that's it for the camera. In the render section, of course, I use cycles. I have my max samples for the viewport at 512, and for the render at 2048. You can of course change those values according to your computer. Personally, I have an i7 with 64 GB of RAM and an RTX 4090. An important option to tick is this motion blur for your animation. For the output, I use a frame rate of 24 FPS. In a world, I use this background color. I'm not sure anymore if it's the one by default, but this is mine. And in the output, I forgot that I've changed the default directory for this one. So this is pretty much it for me. If you have other changes to do, just do it. And from there, you go in File, Default, Save Startup File, and save startup file again. This way, all the options you have activated will be enabled when you will create a new Blender file. And if you want to reset everything, you can go in File, Default, and Load Factory Settings. Let's continue to tip number 2 just after this quick shout out. Hello everyone and welcome to The Ride, my Blender car animation course created for beginners and intermediate users who want to get into car animation. I'm so proud to present this project. It's more than 64 videos and 11 hours of training, and today I can finally share it with you. In this course, you are going to cover all the topics you need to master in order to create your own 3D projects, such as environment design, lighting, animation, camera framing for TikTok, Instagram or YouTube short, smoke simulation, DaVinci Resolve, sound effects, and the list goes on. I will also provide all the necessary assets that you need to follow along. My updated city pack with skyscrapers, city props, and 22 new buildings that you can use in all your animations. HDRI magic to create realistic animations in a few clicks, and with the collaboration of Ashworth Cars, 3D Shaker, and Zephyr 3D, you will also get this C63 AMG, this Audi RS5, this Corvette C8, and this beautiful Mustang. Yes, everything is included in this course. Tip number 2, smooth your camera animation. Let's imagine you would like to film this beautiful car. I will put a keyframe for my camera here, 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 and finally here. Now, if I play the camera animation, we got this result. It's not smooth at all. The overall animation is very painful to watch, and it's particularly true when we are changing the angle of the frame. Let's easily fix that with this little tip that every beginner should know. So you drag your mouse here to open a new window, something like that. And in this window, you select Graph Editor. Now, you press A on your timeline to select all the keyframes. You go here in Key, Density, and Bake Keyframes. That will create automatic keyframes for each frame on our timeline. At the moment, it changes nothing at all for our camera animation, but if you come here in Key, Smooth, you have this option to smooth and the legacy one. So if I click one time on that, it will smooth my camera animation. What you can do is here in smooth, right click, assign shortcut, and there used to be a shortcut for this option, and it was Alt and O. So I will do that again, Alt and O. Now, if you have all your keyframes selected on this window, you just press Alt and O again and again. And here, you can see it's smoothing the angle of the camera animation. So let's do that a few times. Okay, Alt O, Alt O, Alt O, Alt O. And now, let's check the result. You see? Very, very smooth. And now we don't have those harsh movements when the camera is changing the framing. And that's it. Now you have a beautiful and smooth camera animation. Tip number 3, create this shortcut. And chances are when you're creating a project, you will go back and forth between camera view and not camera view. Let me explain. When the camera view is ticked, you will be in a point of view mode. This is great when you want to adjust your camera framing. So here, if I move, in fact, I'm moving my camera framing. However, when you don't have this option ticked, you will retrieve the default behavior where you move your view in the 3D viewport. And it can be also useful when you want to adjust the size of your camera window. So I press Ctrl on my keyboard, middle mouse button, and up and down, as you can see, to adjust the size of my camera window. And this is something I can't do when I have the camera view ticked. And believe me, you will switch this option a lot. So to spare some precious time, you could just create a shortcut for this option. So right click, change the shortcut, and me, I'm using Ctrl and Square, but you can use whatever you want. When I started Blender, I was confused about this image sequence rendering. I wanted to create a little movie, so why not render a movie directly in Blender, like this? First, for a crash recovery. If Blender or your computer crashes during a long render process, you won't lose all the work. You can simply restart the render from the last completed frame. Rendering directly to a video file could result in the loss of the entire render if something goes wrong. 2. Re-rendering specific frames. If you find an issue with a specific frame or a range of frames, like an issue with the light, a glitch or whatever, you can re-render only the affected frames instead of the entire sequence. Tip number 5, the cinematic ratio. I don't know you, but movies are a great source of inspiration for my work, and one thing you could do to sell the illusion of working on the next Transformers movie is the aspect ratio of your animation. So here in the output section, you can update the resolution to 1920 by 817. This is what we call a cinematic aspect ratio. Not only your video will look more like a movie, I'm talking about those 2 bars, but because of those pixels you removed, you will have a better render time. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you liked the video. Don't hesitate if you have questions in the comment section. I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.